Man, it's low-key locked down, and if I'm not mistaken, today we'll be talking about the first ever UFC Saudi Arabia card, which is headlined by KHAMZAT CHIMIEV and Robert Whittaker. That is a crazy fight night card. For it to be a fight night card, this is absolutely crazy. There are other fights on that card, which I'm going to be getting into a little bit later in this, but the main focus, the main highlight of that card we're going to be focusing on today, right now, is the Robert Whittaker versus KHAMZAT CHIMIEV fight. And this fight is so important for a lot of reasons, right? One, to get to the title, you have to go through the gatekeeper, which has always been Robert Whittaker, no matter what no matter what the circumstances is. Robert Whittaker has always had some sort of, way to block you off from the belt. Either he was wearing it or he was defending it for Izzy, which is crazy. But anyways, man, this is a great fight for KHAMZAT CHIMIEV. We got to see what he really looks like at 185, and it's going to be putting him against a real 185er and not a fighter that's coming up from 170 to 185 on 10 days' notice. We're going to get a chance to see what he looks like against somebody who is prepared for him, who fights at that weight class, who's big and strong and is not as small, who is actually naturally built for that weight class like Robert Whittaker is. So look, man, for one, KHAMZAT CHIMIEV, we all know that he's a very explosive fighter. In the beginning, in the opening rounds, I wonder, is it going to be possible for Robert Whittaker to fend off a lot of those takedowns in the beginning, which they will be coming hard, fast, and they will be coming consistent. At least in the first 2 rounds, because his gas tank is bullshit. But other than that, man, as long as he stays consistent for the first 2 rounds and defending takedowns, which I believe he possibly can, because he's fought in the likes of Romero, Derek Brunson, DDP, Marvin Vettori, which will all have good grappling. Yoel is an Olympic-level wrestler. DDP's very fucking big, strong, and brawlic. And, Marvin Vettori and Derek Brunson are known for just being wrestlers and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think none of those guys are to the caliber of MMA wrestling as KHAMZAT CHIMIEV, or have the advantages in the wrestling department that KHAMZAT CHIMIEV has, being his size and the size that he is, that he could just drape over top of you and weigh down on you, even standing up. You feel me? It's hard to weigh, it's hard to fight somebody like that. For example, DC had a hard time with John Jones because he could just drape over top of you and weigh all that weight on top of you. You know what I'm saying? That's why it was so easy for him to take Kamaru Usman down. It was so easy for him to just, ragdoll guys, because he's just so much bigger than him. He's much more massive than him. But we got to really see if that's going to be the case against Robert Whittaker, because Robert Whittaker is a big, thick man, man. He's fucking humongous. He's not small at all. He's very, very muscular. He's built like a fucking meatball. And he's fast. He's got a good in-and-out bladed karate-style stance. Excellent 1-2 high kick. Excellent striking. He's very, very well-rounded. He actually has some good wrestling of his own. Taking DDP down, and he shoots takedowns for sure. No matter who he's fighting, he's gonna shoot a shakedown, wrestler or not. He shot a takedown on Marvin Vettori. Shot a takedown on DDP. Hopefully, he shoots a takedown on KHAMZAT CHIMIEV, because he has the muscle size and strength to do it. A lot of people could never really shoot on KHAMZAT because he's just so much stronger than him. When you seen Gilbert Burns try to shoot that takedown on KHAMZAT and his leg didn't even move, that just goes to show how much bigger he was than these guys. But it's not going to be like that at 185. And I really look to see how this fight is going to play out. A lot of things determine this, man. So for one, KHAMZAT CHIMIEV is very predictable. You know what he's going to do for the first round and a half or round or two. He's going to try to wrestle you. He's going to try to take you down fast. He's going to try to submit you. His gas tank is pretty shit, so after the second or third round, it's going to be very, very hard for him to keep that same pace, and this is a 5-round fight, so we got to see what he looks like for 5 rounds against somebody who is as good as Robert Whittaker. Not against a can, not against a garbage can, against somebody who is as good as skilled as Robert Whittaker, who can keep this pace, who has been in many of these scenarios, and has fought the best in the creme de la creme of the fucking 185 division, man. We just got to see. His striking, KHAMZAT CHIMIEV striking, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not horrible, but he has a few bad tendencies. He has a tendency to brawl, which he's really not even good at. He loses every time he starts brawling. Like, why do you do something you're not good at? Every time he starts to brawl, he starts to lose. He did that shit against Gilbert Burns, and he did that shit against fucking Kamaru Usman. Every time he decided to go out there and just try to all-out brawl, he gets his ass whipped. We just got to see, can he implement the game plan of trying to take this guy out in the first round and a half like he does all the time. Because, that's his only game plan. He doesn't really game plan far into the rounds. He's hard to get away from once he gets a hold of you. So, will Robert be able to get away from this guy once he wraps around him? I don't know. But we know that KHAMZAT is very, very, very difficult to get off of you once he is on you, because he is constantly advancing position and constantly moving and looking for new positions and new submission opportunities and new damn ways to lock you down. And he's just very athletic. He's very athletic. Let's just put it at that. Robert Whittaker, man, look, I'm going to put it like this. His takedown defense is decent. He has some wrestling in his kit. He's willing to, you know, attempt to shoot a takedown on somebody who can wrestle as well. He mixes everything up pretty well. He mixes everything up pretty good. In this fight, he's going to have the striking advantage, and KHAMZAT will have the wrestling advantage. Robert Whittaker, as far as I know, has not lost to submission yet, so we just got to see what his submission defense will be against a guy like KHAMZAT CHIMIEV, which will 100% be looking for submissions. I'm telling you, he's going to look for submissions. He does not want to stand in there for 5 rounds and fight Robert Whittaker. He does not want to do that. Only thing about Robert Whittaker, other than his submission defense being very high, no, actually, here goes a bad thing about Robert Whittaker. He's very chinny. I ain't gonna lie, bro, he's chinny. I'm kind of nervous about that, because KHAMZAT can crack too. KHAMZAT can crack, I cannot lie. Will he be able to deal with that pressure, and when that pressure make him make defensive mistakes in his striking when he's fighting KHAMZAT CHIMIEV? Because that's a lot of pressure to on take, especially knowing that the takedown could be coming at any minute. That's the one big advantage that wrestlers have in striking, is they have that threat of the takedown, so that makes their hands a lot more dangerous. We know a lot about the striking style of KHAMZAT CHIMIEV, and it's not very effective unless the wrestling is mixed in, because otherwise, you know, he's not good at boxing. His boxing is bullshit, can I lie, big bullshit. He has some good kicks in there. He's decent. I guess he's decent on the feet. He's substantial. He'll survive on the feet, but he's not going to cause no super duper damage to nobody, no super high level. He'll whip some cans ass. Like, they're like, right, he'll beat the shit out some cans. But at the higher levels, I don't think that his striking is that good. I'm not going to lie. But power, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, a lot of things weigh in a factor. I mean, a lot of things, you know, factor onto his side as far as this fight. And the only thing that will really be hindering him is his gas tank, his approach, his stylistic, what is the word I'm looking for? It's right on the tip of my tongue. His stylistic approach to fighting, man. It's just, he's a sprinter versus a marathon runner. He's a sprinter, not a marathon runner. He needs to be a marathon runner. This is a 5-round fight. You're not going to be able to go out there and just, well, I'm not going to say not, because then I'll fuck around and lose my money. But hopefully he's not going to go out there and just finish Robert Whittaker ASAP. But he just needs to figure out how to pace himself. He's got to figure out how to make better fight IQ decisions, because, you know, his fight IQ is not the best when it comes to standing on the feet. The only time his fight IQ gets increased is when he's on the ground. He increases his attributes by 25,000 when he gets on the ground. Other than that, as soon as he stands back up, it's like they drop underneath the fucking bar. But hopefully he's made improvements to his striking by now. Robert Whittaker has some great takedown defense, some excellent striking, and he even has some decent fucking wrestling himself. So with that being said, man, I feel like Robert Whittaker can win this fight. I feel like I favor Robert Whittaker to win this fight, 55-45. I feel like KHAMZAT could possibly win this fight just because of the way everything's been going in the UFC lately. But honestly, I think Robert Whittaker should be able to get this done, but I don't know, bro. I have some doubts. We don't know. We just gotta see. So with that being said, man, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all want to see next. And we out, gang.